Hi everyone, welcome to our Oracle Goldengate Veridata training. My name is Ashish Agarwal, and I'll be delivering this lecture to you. So before commencing the session, just a quick round of update regarding my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Ashish Agarwal _GG. So if you haven't visited the channel, I would request you to do visit the channel and do like, share, and subscribe the channel. The channel is dedicated to Oracle Goldengate related videos. Thank you. Veridata with the database. You need to go to connection configuration. Okay. You have to ensure first of all that the agent on the database server should be up and running. If your agent is down, you won't be able to configure it. How do you check whether your agent is running or not? So go to Ggate 1. So this is Veridata agent directory. So we'll do /agent.sh space run. So this shows that it will give you the message that address already in use. That means it is already run. See, do you see? Address already in use. So it means it is already running. So this is just the notification. Okay, it is running fine. Okay, so now another thing what we did was to verify whether it is running or not. You can do netstat -an grep port number 7850. So this will show you that listening is happening on this particular. So this port is working fine. Okay. If you have to stop, you can do agent.sh space stop. So once this is stopped, then try to do netstat. See, now it is not listening. It says time wait. You see, the status has changed now. So it's no longer running. So once you start, it will start. So let us keep it stopped for now, just for your reference. Okay. Now we are into connection configuration in Veridata. So click a new button. So name, we are going to connect this to PDB1 database. So as I told you, Veridata agent needs to be connected to each database. On each database server, the agent should be installed. So in our case, we have got two servers. One is Ggate 1. In Ggate 1, we have a database, pluggable database named as PDB1. And there we have application schemas created and tables created. We'll discuss about that later. Same way, we have got Ggate 2 server where we have got the database, pluggable database name is PDB. So on both these servers, we have got agent installed and agent running it. Okay. So first of all, we'll create the connection with PDB1 database. So guys, for your reference, today we are following activity guide number 5 for create data source connection. So whatever we are doing, it is mentioned in this activity guide number 5. Okay. So we'll give the name as PDB1 underscore connection. You can give any name. Okay. If you want to give any description, so this connection establishes connectivity with PDB1 database on Ggate 1 server. Okay. Click on next. Okay. Now the next is it will ask for host name or IP address to which this will establish the connectivity. So the host name is 192. You can provide IP address or host name, whatever way you want. I prefer to provide IP address. So I always provide IP address. So the PDB1 reside on this particular server. And the port number 7850. Can anyone tell me how come this port number provided 7850? How come it got this particular port number? Anyone? How did we get this port number 7850?
It's a default one.
No, what do you mean by default? So which port number it is? What is running on this particular port? Why have we given So does the database run on this port, or what runs on this port?
Veridata? Maybe it's a manager port.
Does Goldengate Veridata uses manager? Have we discussed anything about that?
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm confused.
Agent is running on this.
Agent is running, exactly, correct. So agent is running on this particular port, right? And where have we defined that this agent should be running on this port? Which file? It is agent.properties file, right? So if you do agent.properties file, we have defined here that it should run on port 7850. The agent on Gget. See here, we have provided server port as 7850, right? So if you have defined any other port, you can provide any other port as well. Just ensure that you update or provide proper connection there. Okay. Okay. So port number is 7850. Now data source type. So this Veridata connects to different sources, like it can establish your connectivity to Oracle, NSK, SQL Server, Sybase, DB2, Informix, Hive, Teradata. So this is Oracle. So we'll click on Oracle. Okay. Now verify this connection. So it says cannot connect to this port 7850. Connection refused. Why? See, what happens is, as I told you, so how the Golden Gate establishes connectivity is, first of all, Veridata server has to establish connectivity with database. Now, to establish the connectivity with the database, it has to establish connectivity. It establishes connectivity with the database using Veridata agent. So you can consider Veridata agent is middleman between Veridata server and database. So Veridata server will establish the connectivity with Veridata agent, and which turn will help in establishing connectivity with the database. So you have to ensure that agent is running on this particular server. So let us see if agent is running. Now agent is not running. So let us start agent. How do we start? We'll run agent.sh space start. Okay. Now verify whether it is running. See, now listening is happening on this. Okay. So now what we'll do, we'll verify again. Now see, this data source type verified. So once the agent is running, so the connection has successfully been established with the agent. So this connection right now is not established with the database. Remember, it is established with agent. Okay. Now, this agent has details about the database. You see, we have provided the database URL in this agent.properties file. So now, once we click on next, on the next screen, now you need to provide the username and password for the database. So basically now, Goldengate Veridata is a product which is external to the database. Right. Now if it has to establish connectivity with the database, how can it do that? It requires some username and password for it. Right. That username, that schema should be present in database. So at the database, in database, what we need to do is we need to create one user, one schema basically. Okay. So what is the schema name? Let me verify from activity guide. We can provide the same connection. Okay. So we are going to create the user with this name, Veridata and welcome. Okay. So how do we do it? So what we need to do is we need to create the user. If you go above, must have done it here. Okay. Here you see. So we have connected to the database. We created the user Veridata. So this username can be anything. It's up to you. Okay. We have to provide the privilege. You can either provide DBA privilege. It's not mandatory. but select catalog role and select all table privilege should be provided. Okay. So we won't provide DBA, that's fine. So I'll connect to the database now. Oh, I need to connect as Oracle. So I'm connecting SSDB, then connecting to pluggable, alter session, set container equal to PDB1. Now here I'll create user Veridata identified by welcome one, and we won't grant DBA, we'll grant select catalog role and select any table privilege. Veridata. Okay. So why we require it? Because see, when so say for example, you have application schema as GG training one. So Veridata should be able to read the data because it compares the data between source and target, right? So it should be able to read the data from the source table first of all. So how can it read it if it has select privilege? Okay. So we'll provide this user now. The user is Veridata and password we are creating is welcome. Test the connection. If everything is successful, it says Veridata could not connect to database. Shared memory realm does not exist. Let us try to connect. First of all, what we'll do, SQL plus Veridata slash welcome one at the rate PDB1. Oh, we need to grant create session as well. Okay. So SQL plus slash SSDBA alter session set container equal to PDB1 grant create session to Veridata. Okay. Now let us try again. So I'll exit SQL plus. It says shared memory realm does not exist. No such file or directory. Basically, this message comes if user does not exist, right? Let us see once again. So we are connecting to this hostname config. Yeah, IP address, everything is fine. 192.168.5650. 7850. This is verified. Next. Okay. I assume there is one thing. Let me try that. So what I'll do vi agent dot properties. Here, let me use slash instead of colon. I'll tell you what I'm doing if it is successful. Okay. So let us test connection now. Now you see it is successful. Okay. Okay. Same thing what I was assuming is fine. Okay. So I'll tell you what I did. This is fine. And if I test connection now it's okay. Okay. I'll tell you what I did. Okay. So in agent.properties file, I was assuming this. This is good to know. So the thing is, if you see agent.properties file, so it says that database URL. If you check this file, it says like the SID or service name, give it like colon. Okay. But the thing is, we have to use, if we are using service name, if we are using SID, so we have to give like slash. If we give service name, then it's okay. We can give colon. But if we are giving SID, we have to give it like backslash in that scenario. Okay. Earlier we had given it as a colon, so it wasn't working. So there is one solution to it. If you want to use if you want to use SID as well as a with colon, there is a parameter in listener.ora file. You can use SID as a service name. So SID will also can SID can also be used as a service name in that scenario. So the thing is, just for your understanding, this is good to know. In this file, it is mentioned that you have to give it as colon and then this database name. So basically this is, if you want to give colon, you have to give service name here. But because we were using SID, this PDB1 is SID, so we have to use slash. If you want to use SID as service name, then in listener.ora file, there is a parameter which you need to use, which is use SID as service name. Then here, even if you use SID, it will use colon. Okay. Okay. So just to let you know, there are two solutions for the error which we were getting. Either if you want to use colon, then use service name. That is one option. Second option is if you want to use SID, use this slash as we have used. Okay. Okay. So now our Veridata server is successfully been able to establish connectivity with database. Database connection is successful. Now you have another thing, data source connection for repair. So as you know, Veridata not only compares the data, it also has capability to repair the discrepancies which it has identified. So for repair purpose, you need to grant separate privileges and you need to have, you can use the same user, but you need to grant separate privileges. But we are not discussing about repair right now. We are only creating regular user for verifying the data for comparison purpose. Repair part, we can discuss during later part. Okay. Once you are done, click on finish. So your connection is successful. So Veridata server is now able to create or establish connectivity with the database. Okay. Now we have established the connection with Ggate 1. Now on Ggate 2 as well, our agent is running, right? So let us verify where, on which port it is running on. So on this Ggate 2, we have PDB2 database. So now let us verify on which port Veridata agent is running. So on 7850, it's not running. On 7851, it is listening. So you can verify by visiting the agent.properties file. So see here, if you check this on Ggate 2, agent is running on port number 7852. And here we'll also provide this URL as. So if you want, I can show one more thing. Okay, let us use service name. So let me check LSNRCTL. That. So let us use service name as in service this OGGDB2. No, service is also defined as PDB2. So let us use slash. But this is G. Oh, sorry. We have to go here. So what we'll do? We'll do agent.properties. Here, what we'll do is we'll change the URL and use slash instead of it in the URL. Now you would say, how did I identify this error? So the thing is experience. I have faced this issue multiple times. So I was wondering, like, this is the latest Veridata version 12.2.1.4 we are using. So I thought they might have corrected something here, but it's the same thing which we were facing in the previous version. So that's fine. So that's why how I identified. So this is good to know. If you are facing this issue, try to change your URL instead of colon, try to use slash. Okay, so we have edited agent.properties file. Let us restart the agent. So I'll stop agent and then I'll start. So this is what we are doing on Gate2 server, second server. Stop. Okay, so agent has been started. So now what we'll do, we'll create another connection. So PDB2 connection will do. This connects to PDB2 database on Gate2. Click on next. So now it is asking for hostname or IP address. So the IP address of the server where Gate2 is running 192.68.56.51. It is running on different server. And the port number is 7851. Data source type is verify. Yeah, data source type verified. Click on next. So we need to provide username and password. So what we'll do, we'll create one user in the database. So this is PDB2 pluggable database. Alter session set container equal to PDB2. So here we'll create user veridata underscore trg identified by welcome one grant db not dba select catalog role select any table comma create session to veridata or veridata underscore trg. Grant succeeded. So now what we'll do, we'll go to again data source connection. Here we'll provide veridata underscore trg. So what we have done so far, this Veridata server running on IP address ending in 50 is connecting to agent running on 51 server. And now we are establishing connectivity with the database. So now you see data source connection was successful. Because it is successful, now you can click on. So Your data source connection is now successfully created on both source and target. So basically now Veridata is now successfully able to connect to both source as well as target databases. Okay. So this finishes your create data source connection on source and target.